Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division in the Winter Major Tournament. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click that icon in the bottom right corner. Also, visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content. You can also get the text guides by being a subscriber on Patreon. Those are the ultimate tournament text guides and it's the best guides on the market. Check them out and see if it is something for you. This tournament here is going to be difficult, and the reason it's going to be difficult is because we cannot really relax anything. We don't have a course where we can try green. We don't have a super easy par 3 to get a hole-in-one on, and the par 5s are not it's not just automatically an eagle. We actually have to fight hard to especially get the eagle on hole number 3 and hole number 9. Picking the correct clubs and ball will be very important this time around. You're gonna notice that as well. So make sure you comment in the comment section below if you do have any questions. So let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1 in Expert, we're going to play left-hand side. 6 bars topspin and as much side spin to the left possible. A kingmaker is preferred, but not a must. You can play with katana as well. The only thing is that you will have to go with a little bit more overpower than what we're doing now. Once you have made your adjustment, push up your target to max. Half a ball of curl to the left, combined with a teeny tiny bit of overpower. You should just want the ball to start wobbling. Obviously, if you do have a club with more distance, like Apocalypse 5 Plus, you should stay away from overpower and just use the topspin instead. Max plus 10 when it comes to elevation, and that was 384 yards. Second shot, we're going to use the little glitchy part actually here on green, and it took me a little while before I found the spot that I was looking for, because the more to the right we are after the drive, the more side spin to the right we need to get, because the more right on the fairway, sorry, on the green like this, we're gonna have a very glitchy part. So in the end, we play with a couple of bars side spin to the right, and as you can see, 2 to 2.5 bar backspin. And I make a silly little rookie mistake. I am not clear enough away from minimum distance. So in the end, I had to go with a slight underpower, and I most likely misadjust my shot just a tiny little bit. Minus 20% for the second shot, but I truly believe this is going to be the best possible play for us to go with, and as we can work with yardage notes, it's definitely going to be an eagle that I would honestly expect going forward once we get, you know, comfortable with the setup. Grizzly, due to its very good ball guideline, but if you don't have Grizzly level 7 plus, I would go with the B52 level 6 plus, or I would otherwise go with the Goliath. Okay, for hole number 2 we are going to go for rough bump. There is really no debate about that in my opinion, because the rough bump is fairly wide, and as we do have the wind coming left to right, we're definitely going to be able to, even though we aim very close to the rough line there, we are able to shoot great right and great left and still be safe. Max right spin and 3 bars backspin. And look now once we are adjusting, we have a lot of bunkers there. So once we have adjusted, you need to take a note that, okay, I drop down into the sand, I need to push up 1 ring. If you don't drop down into the sand, you might still stick on rough, then you don't push up anything. That's very important. Unfortunately, a great left here, but with a perfect ball here, we would have been super duper close, if not in, because there is a funnel there that is pretty wide, and that is what we do want to catch. I play medium distance plus 15%. So medium plus 15, but that was with a low wind there. So I would suggest for those of you that like to tweak and tweak and tweak, with a higher wind like an 8 mile per hour plus, I might add, you know, a 2-3 decimals together with the mid plus 15, just to put it out there. I'm not sure it's going to be a 100% spot on, but that is what I feel is going to be the best for hole number 2. For hole number 3, I'm going to give you an approach that I'm very pleased to have found this early. And I would say big thank you for those that have been sending suggestions for hole 3 through email. First, 3 bars of backspin, max right side spin. As you can see, our position is with the blue ring slightly outside there to the left in maximum position. Then we adjust for a maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. Once we have done that, we push up our target into max and then go max curl right, max overpower, and with this shot you can hit great left, you can hit great right, and obviously perfect. We bounce very nicely on the fairway over the rough and the sand, and we sit nicely on the other fairway there by the rough and the sand. So, and we're gonna get around 436 yards. And then for the second shot, you can notice here that we are, you know, in a very good distance. So the thing that we can do here now, we can go for a rough bump. I'm trying to be smart here, but I'm not really executing this one properly. But we can actually use a rough bump there, trying to dial that one in from distance if we are lucky. Obviously, it all depends on how far we go with the drive. But in the end, we can also make sure that we use the rough to just roll out and give ourselves a wedge. Or that we can go max overpower, bounce on the fairway and land ourselves to the green for a nice putt. I'm trying for the rough bump, but as you can see, I'm adjusting this one way wrong. So I bounce in the rough, but I'm going way short. But this wedge, I'm not gonna miss at any point, and that I hope you won't either, because we're so close, and then we can use the top spin and roll it towards the pin. So look, I know there is shots here we can go power hooks, not power hook, but power slice, but I don't like the inconsistency with those type of shots, especially when we have wind angle changes. Also, if you you have most likely seen people going with the same shot that I do, but using topspin instead and doing a double bounce over the rough and then land to be closer towards the pin instead. I would only suggest that if you have an Apocalypse level 6+, so you have a little bit more topspin. With Apocalypse level 5 or below, I would suggest this shot here, and I would honestly almost go with the same shot at Apoc 6 and Apoc 7 as well, if I would be, you know, if I would go to exactly what I feel is going to be the best to do in that situation. Because this is an eagle hole in my opinion, it's not an albatross hole, and we want to find a way that we consistently can make an eagle, so we're not going to have to just close our eyes and hope for the best when we make our drive. So, tough hole for hole number 3, very pleased finding this adjustment. For hole number 4, we're going to use our Goliath, our dear friend Mr. Goliath. And we're using 1 top spin, 2 bars side spin to the left. Red ring, like the top of the red ring by the rough line. You can see that we're kind of aiming 1 green square to the right of the pin. Then we're going to adjust maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. And we adjust that one slightly more than 6 rings, which is going to be 6.2. And then in the end, we are taking the shot here, and we are getting this ball to bounce on the fairway, and we come up there to the right. So, in the end, how could we miss that far right if we adjust max plus 10? We did not, we did adjust max plus 20. So, we're going to adjust max plus 10 to be more accurate. Use the katana or the kingmaker, and once again, make sure that you adjust for the proper, for the correct elevation once taking this shot. Hole number 5, we're going to play right hand side. The reason we're going to do that is because we're going to lay up and go for rough bump. Yellow ring by the rough line, and we're going to use max side spin to the right. And then we're going to play as well with 6 bars of topspin. You can see that I leave myself half of the red ring inside the rough there, but I want to leave yellow, because if we leave yellow only, not half red, then we're going to get ourselves to stay away from the rough, even with a great left, because that's the danger here. Hitting great left, the ball could most definitely get into the rough there on the left hand side, and that's going to be a tricky shot from there, trying to save the birdie. Max curl with an extra mile, which is approximately 1 ball of curl with extra mile level 8. So if you play with extra mile level 7 or below, I would like you to change club, and I want you to play then, if so, with Apocalypse, if so, even in a lower level. 10% over adjustment, max distance, katana is a viable option, but I would choose the kingmaker if I do have some of them. Then we come to second shot here. We're going to go for a rough bump, and here the Grizzly or the B52 in a decent level would be the best. So the Grizzly, if you have it in level 7+, otherwise, I would suggest you to go with the B52 level 7+. And other than that, you know, it could be the Goliath. The Goliath, though, is not really easy to adjust for when it comes to the ball guideline, as we don't, no matter what level we have the Goliath in, we don't have a fully developed ball guideline, but we do have that with the Grizzly and the B-52. Bounce into the rough, roll it towards the pin. We are getting very, very close, and this is definitely going to be dialed in going forward in the tournament. No elevation for the second shot whatsoever. So for hole number 6, we're going to start by saying play with an Apocalypse. Even though you have it in level 1 only, the Apocalypse would be the better option. It's because of the curl. Sure, you can manage with an extra mile level 8 plus, or you can manage with a higher level Thor's hammer, but the Apocalypse would be to get a general, you know, adjustment out there. Max top spin, as much side spin to the left possible, then 1.5 ball curl approx. Make sure you pause the video. Maybe take a quick note on much about to give yourself an own reference when it comes to curl. And then we're going to just take the shot. We're not going to push up anything. We're not going to go with any overpower whatsoever. I'm going to try to gain as much distance as possible. Maximum distance plus 10 is going to be the drive adjustment. Second shot here, you can play this one very differently here. And the way that I'm saying differently is that we can go for the rough bump, and we can also go for a regular shot directly towards the green. Here I actually want you to play under adjustment, so that minus sign is not working at the moment. So see that one as there is a minus sign before the 10 for the second shot. So we're gonna play uphill, and as you're gonna see it here now, when you do a press take shot, and you're gonna notice that we're actually going to play this one uphill, you see, and that's very, very important here. So I slightly over adjust this one, but you can see we bounce on the fairway and we come in nicely, and we're actually fairly close making an albatross here. So I do feel, after been playing this one a couple of times, that this is going to be our best chance for an albatross, even though I don't count with it. But make sure, pick the correct clubs and pick the correct ball, you know, side spin 3 ball, sniper the Cataclysm. If you aren't sure with the drive, or you maybe have a lower level sniper, play the Cataclysm instead to get that. And once again, it's an under adjustment, so minus 10% for the second shot. For hole number 7, we're going to play with a driver that gives accuracy and ball guideline, but it's not going to be the quarterback. As for the quarterback, does not give us the correct distance that we do need. 3 bars of backspin and max side spin to the left, and we play with the Rock. The Rock is also an excellent club, especially since the last last update from the game makers to give it a boost when it comes to the stats. Maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, and once we are done, we're just going to take a regular shot. And the thing that we're looking for is to just a consistent drive that gives us a consistent yardage, and then we can dial the sniper shot, the sniper rough bump in from distance. So we get to as much 268. Second shot, now we do have headwind, and now we need to be smart. Not as stupid as I am in this video, but we need to be smarter. First and foremost, we need to align the ball guideline towards the pin, and I try to use the red ring there just as a marker, just to be by the top rough, to continue to keep the same position no matter what type of distance we're having with the drive. But we are not letting the ball guideline to go enough through the hole. We need to make sure that we use around half a bar to like 3/4 of a ball off topspin. So we do make sure that the ball guideline go through the hole. Because the thing that you notice here now is that this ball is going to bounce in the rough nicely, but it does not have the speed because we're right on target. That's why we get that little nice camera angle, but we are having the ball to turn left sooner than what we want due to not having the speed enough. 25% over adjustment for the second shot. Very good opportunity in my opinion when it comes to hole number 7. For hole number 8, we're going to finalize all the par 3s with a Kingmaker ball, and I want us to play with, as you can see, 3 bars of backspin, 2 bars of left spin. Let the ball guideline go through the hole. Very, very important. And I want us to start with the blue ring to the the left rough. So, structure. 1, we add spin. 3 back, 2 left. Okay, that is the start. Second, we put the position with the blue ring by the rough line. Make sure that the ball guideline go through the hole. Then we adjust maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, and we make sure to hit perfect. That's obviously something that we do need to do. In the end, it looks like we're gonna have a very nice distance together here, together with the direction, if we do hit perfect. Because if you hit great, you're gonna lose distance. I would stretch it towards that with a high wind that is come to 8 mile per hour plus, we might need to reduce the backspin just a little bit, because we don't want to stop just before the hole. That would be absolutely crap. So we need to dial this one in a little bit better, but we are close now. We are getting there. And so very interesting to go forward with hole number 8. So for the final hole in this playthrough and also in the tournament, hole number 9, and we're going to play with the big topper for the drive. I'm going to go max top spin and 1 bar side spin to the right, leaving the blue ring by the rough line. And here I would play with whatever big topper I might have. And here I go max distance with a 10% over adjustment, but then I reduce a couple of decimals because I'm not entirely in max. So if you do want to give yourself a correct adjustment here, I would say go with 75% of your club, so in between mid and max, plus 10%. We go and bounce on the fairway over to the next fairway, trying to gain as much distance possible with our ball there. And that's going to leave ourselves up for 375 yard mark. Second shot, we do have a little headwind, so it's not possible to go directly over the rough, so we're going to have to rely on a club that do have topspin. Sure, as you can see in the info box, I do suggest the Cataclysm as well, but the Cataclysm there is suggested only if you do have it in level 7 plus. Otherwise I would go with Horizon in no matter what level, because it has more topspin. Because we don't need distance, we don't need everything else than topspin for the second shot. And that's why Horizon will be, in my opinion, generally a key club for all of us in all the divisions. Perfect ball, I'm going with half a ball of curl to the right, and here we can go with more curl. You know, it maybe was a little bit too little, so we're gonna end up on the fringe, but a little bit more curl, we will be easily on the green. Medium distance with a 10% over adjustment was what I did there. Not an albatross hole, everyone, have that in mind. Take the eagle and be happy. So everyone, thank you so much for watching this playthrough for Expert Division in the Winter Major Tournament. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before you go, don't forget to hit thumbs up and also get the text guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. I will be here to answer your questions if you do have any, so please comment in the comment section below or email tommyloftwear@gmail.com. Link to email and also to Patreon is in the description down below. Thank you so much once again, and good luck in the Winter Major.